Well, hi guys, welcome back to MK Sportscars, and we're back in the workshop again. Can't wait to show you what we've been getting on with actually. First off, we're going to kick off with this. It's the Sport 200 and it's got the Gen 3 Hayabusa engine. Last time you probably saw the video, we did a few bits, brakes, I'm doing a little electrics. Now we got the Gen 3 engine in, and we showed you the differences last time, which was the water pump, the gear change mechanisms in a different position, and a few other mods we had to do to make it all work and fit the clutch, etc. Now we're on with, we're actually going to run this as a secondary, in the Gen 3 you've got the secondary injectors in the airbox. So what we've done here, rotated the throttle bodies 180 degrees, so the airbox would normally be sitting up that way, and Joseph and that we came up with an idea which was turning it around this way, same as you do on the CBR 1000 RR actually, switching them around, and that way you've still got the fuel rails, still got the secondary injectors, and it all fits nicely under here. We had to chop out a bit of the airbox here to get clearances for the takeoff and where your dipstick is, but it's only a little modification which is fine because we probably make a cold air feed going into there in the back of the filter, but this all looks neat and tidy, and it gives us about 10mm clearance under the bonnet scoop as well. So that's all gone in, prop shaft has gone in, we've got the strain gauge which comes off, this comes off the Gen 3 booster because they have a sort of strain gauge flat shift up and down on those anyway, so this is going to be possibly running the stock ECU. We've got the water pump here mounted in, it's got running a little electric water pump, and because we got rid of the stock water pump for clearance issues, and got the front end on here, suspension, our billet, nice billet front and rear front uprights here with the cross drilled and grooved discs or the billet hubs with our caliper brackets, and it's got a set of wheelwoods 4 pots here nicely through our push rod rockers, catch tank done, header tank all in, it all mounts on the bracket on the chassis here. It's a left hand drive steering rack 2.4, our go-to supplier with Protex, and we got those nicely fitted up, and same on the other side. Engine's in, didn't take actually that long to get the engine in, just a cradle redesign. We've gone away with quite a bit of this chassis sections that we used to do. We've gone with 2 different mounts here now, relatively easy then to pick up. You can bolt these on to the engine, it gives you something to grip hold of as well. If there's 2 of you, it gives you something to grip hold of and put it into the chassis, drop it in, and then we have little bushes in here similar to what's used on the suspension. We use the same thing with it. This has an M10 crush tube in here, and these are M12 on this one and this one, and you bolt it through and it's all in position now. So pedal box in, we got ECU panel in, started doing the electrics, gear shifter was all in, that's all in, the mechanism for that's all gone in, handbrake lever, and on the back right the way through is pretty much near enough there, which is fuel pump, fuel sender, diff. It's got 338 diff in here, drive shafts, and then we go into our standard rear brakes, which is a Sierra caliper, onto our bracketry with a standard rear disc, and all our rear uprights, and our Protex shocks, which will be on the rear. So electrics is all plumbed in nice and neat. We use like a little saddle bush here of a cable tie. Just makes it serviceable in the future. If you ever need to take in this loom out, you can just snip the cable tie, and then all this bush remains in place on the chassis and just keeps it all nice, neat, clean, tidy, tucked up out of the way. You kind of don't see it, it kind of hides itself away quite nicely. So same on this side, and then the handbrake cable's in. Now when you're going to 13-inch wheels, we've spoken about this before, but I will point it out while we're here, this little spring will interfere on a Sierra caliper with your wheel, on your wheel weights. So we do a shorter, we do a 3-coil spring instead of 5-coil spring, so it shortens it down, otherwise this would be sticking up here and then it would interfere with the wheel. So it's just a bit of a nuisance, but it's just one of those things, a compromise that you have to do, and what we've manufactured when you run a 13-inch wheel. So yes, anything that's different is, it's noticed it's on this side guys. It's a left-hand drive car, so we're going out into Europe. So we've still got our billet pedal box and everything else in here, and we've drilled all the holes in preparation here, all the seat holes have been done. The reverse motor that's in here, this is where the sprocket is, the diff, reverse motor's all been put in as well, and all the handbrake mechanisms all buttoned up as well, ready and installed. So yeah, boom boom, makes boom boom noises soon. The other job that's done, because this car is going into paint, we have actually fitted and dry fitted all the bodywork. So the nose cone's been fitted, the scuttle's been fitted here with all the holes drilled on there. All the side panels have just been finished literally now, that's why there's a bit of dust on it, but all the holes been cut for the exhaust, all the trimming up, all the rear wings, the rear tub, everything here. This has all been fitted to the vehicle. We've dry fitted it all, so we've got all the holes here for where the filler cap is, because this is going to go into a nice different colour. So we'll show you that once it's done. Currently black. Oh, let's see what she turns into. Right, just a quick catch up on the Durapower engine, which is a 2 litre sort of between 185 and 190 horsepower. They sort of kick out with throttle bodies or a plenum in that sort of range. Durapower engine, we're in the final stage of a mock-up on a chassis here, just remaking an engine mount and a gearbox mount for that. We've just done a couple of tweaks on it from what we've done in before to make it a bit simpler to get the engines in. We've made like a different kind of bracket on here on the gearbox mount. We made it before, how we did it, we didn't have the fork bit in it here. We wanted to make it so once you slot it in, you slot it over. So this bit's been remade onto that gearbox. We still run a 10-degree angle on the Mazda gearbox to get the engine dead level, which is why you can see the spirit levels here, and we'll change that because we can do an adapter to change the gearbox level back to straight with on the gear lever. So this is basically a bare chassis ready. We're just doing the final mock-ups while we're doing it, then it'll go for powder coat and ready to start another build with a Durapower engine in. So it's just a final little tweaks, and it's mainly to make it easier in the future for the next one, the next build, so that when we bolt, these laser cut parts are done, and when we bolt these mounts on, it's done. We're just finishing off this side, and then should be good to go for powder, and this will go into build very, very soon as well. So yeah, if you're interested in the sort of Durapower engines, 2 litre, it's a Sprint, as we call it, 185, then hook us up a phone call, email, speak to Nora, and then they can talk you through the range and what it's all about. Put the machine on here. Adrian just warming up the car, warming up the catalytic converter. So if you're doing any emissions test guides, going for IVA, make sure you get your car up to 85 degrees minimum, and also that you add time to get the catalytic converter nice and warm and ignited. You're going to hold, once it gets about 85, you need to hold it at least 2,500 RPM for probably 20 to 30 seconds to make sure that cat is fully ignited. Now, pretty tricky this has been, trying to get carburettor through current emissions, but we're going to throw it on the meter now and see how we're getting on with it. At the moment everything's 0. When before, if you don't remember guys, 0-200, so 0.2 here on the CO, hydrocarbons 200 maximum, and Lambda needs to be on here between 0.97 and 1030, little digits there for you. So I'm going to throw it in, see how she gets on. 2,700 please, 2,700. So what Adrian's going to do now is going to hold it at simulating the 2,700, which I consider driving speed, and then we're going to look at the machine here and see what's going on. I expect everything to be high at the beginning, and then it will start to fall as we're coming out. So there we need to be 0.2. This is well in, so we are well in. We've got 0.2 and this is 0.02, so we're fine. Hydrocarbons, we've got 200 to play with, and we're at 30. And Lambda is just starting to come down. 0.97, we need to drop it into 1030. It's coming down. As the cat gets warmer, gonna drop in now. It's, oh no, not quite. Is it coming in? It's falling into it now, so that's fine. That's dropped in now to 1.17, so it really has warmed up nicely on the cat now, which is really important. Must get that cat warm. Now we're in here, and in here. Now we're going to do this, Adrian, put it onto idle. Now you don't have to worry about anything else here, you just need to worry about this, which is the CO. And the CO needs to be, which I said earlier, 0.2. And at the moment we are reading 0.01. And they're going to test that, it's about a 10-second test it sits at idle. To making sure that it falls in, and there she goes, she's staying green, very positive. Don't have to worry about any of those, as I said, so that screen's there. So yes, can you get a Z-Tech 1.6 on twin 40 carburetors through the emissions for MOTs and everything else? Well, the answer is yes you can. So we'll start to button this car up, get the few bits done we needed to on it, start getting ready for the final bits for IVA. Right, up on the mez here, just talking about chassis production. This is sort of where we collate all the kits together. Sam and the team do a great job of that. Getting them all together. Adrian's been on a bit of a brake and fuel line fitting fest here, which is like this car here. We've fitted the brake pedal box, the brake lines have gone in, the brake switch has gone in. This is just brake lines on this one right the way through. If you want that, we offer that as a service. And we don't do like what some other companies here do. They just put a little bit of braided, a little bit of plastic tie and then cable tie in place. We P-clip all these in position. They're nicely done, you know, fitted within those limits of, well, maximum 300 for IVA, so we make them into IVS, but we end up with somewhere between 150 to 200 mil. These come out solid out here out to a braided line which fits on your rear caliper here on this one. There's a couple of different options, whether it's a Mazda or Sierra or whether it's a Willwood, all of those sort of things. So this one and all of these have had a brake line, some have had the fuel lines fitted in as well, all P-clipped in as well. So all of these have been completely done, ready to go. Got one little job, which is on the couple of these jobs, we stamp all our chassis up here. We have a special etching machine, which, you know, every chassis that goes out the door has this number uniquely coded for your chassis, so we can tell what it was, what engine went on it, who had it, when it was manufactured and everything. So it gives us a bit of history towards the car. So yeah, these two getting ready to go out for the weekend, looking smart, and they'll be ready for the next customer. And if you want to get into the car, want to build one at home, you go, you think, that sounds like a bit of me. What do you do, guys? Yes, you know you. Hook us up, phone call, email, come down the factory and we can talk you through the process. Right, the team have been on with the little RX-5 build here with the Mark II 1.8, so it's the VVT engine. Doing a lot of wiring, putting it all back, really getting it styled in now for more IVA specs. All the bulkheads gone on now, which is our alley bulkhead, chassis plates gone in, header tank, battery, all of that, etc. Has gone in there. Stop saying etc, Sean. Go on, tell me off. Stop it. Then this particular car is always looking sharp. It's just this grey and orange. It looks super strong. Anybody that's come in, when people come in the open day, was like, wow, that looks really strong. And a few people since then who've come in and ordered kits have really dived towards this kind of colour scheme. So, and I can't see why you wouldn't. It looks amazing. But the first thing, more importantly, does she run? Well, let's have a go. Beautiful. Look at that. Listen. Oh, like a Singer sewing machine. Awesome. And she runs. Right, before we close out the show today, if you're thinking, I want to get a kit, but I don't really fancy the build, I haven't got quite the skills, I haven't got the garage space to do it all, I've only got a little bit of room, but you want instant gratification, you want a car that's ready to go. Well, we've got the Cup 200 car, that's for sale, it's brand new registration. We've got the CBR 1000 RR bike engine car, that's also up for sale now. We've got the RX-5 140 with a Mazda car engine, and we've got the other final bike engine, which is the Mach 1 with a ZX-10R engine, that's also coming. If you want to know more information, then you know what you need to do. Hook us up, phone call, email, come and see the factory, Neil or Andy, and they can help you out. Now, if you're failing that, you can't get down here and you think, I want to go to a show and see what else is available, see what cars you're doing, guys. Don't forget Malvern Kit Car Show, that's the National Exhibition Show. That will be happening 1st and 2nd of June, I do believe that is. So it's just over a month away and we should be there with a couple of cars as well. That's it for this week, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and guess what? We'll catch you next week.